Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And today is now the part 3 of the Beatdown Battle EX2 difficulty to get the free dupes of the Christmas Redis. We have 2 videos out already using a multitude of different teams, so if these in this video doesn't work for you, check out those other videos, and maybe one of those will work. But quickly go over Trainee single target. She's got 650k HP. She gives herself Pierce and Pierce Power on turn 4, which is where she gets a little scary. Other than that, she doesn't do that much damage to you until she gets this. And then she's got instant damage. She gives herself an AoE attack buff. She's a single target ult. She's not that difficult for medium players. If you're brand spanking new, like, yeah, I don't know if you're going to beat EX2, but, you know, hopefully people who have team options are able to do it fairly easily. It's only when you get to, like, Inferno where things really get hairy. But with that said, let's just go ahead and jump into the final 5 teams I have for you. Alright, the first team is Ogre's Pride, which gives us a damage buff against Earth characters, because it's a fire team, so this works very, very well. Benimaru, Soe. We brought the new Momiji just for fun, because she is on Ogre's Pride, even though she's physical. We can use her debuff if we need to. We brought the free-to-play Hakuro to convert orbs, and then we've got the old Momiji, and then Shuna as our single-target DPS character. This team works very, very well. So turn 1, we can use Soe to convert turn 1, and then we'll take Hakuro and him out, or whoever out, for Momiji and Shuna. So Momiji is equally capable of doing damage. She has her own fire buff, whereas Shuna has her own magic buff. It doesn't really matter who you nuke with, they're both going to kill. Like, this stage is peanuts for the Ogre's Pride team, and that's a very good hand right there. So we could actually use the new Momiji's orb change to great effect, and we're ready to go. Her attack buff is sealed, so if you want that to go away, you do need to leave her up front for a few turns, along with Soe, but spoiler alert, you're not going to need to do that. We don't even go to, like, turn 5, I think. I think we nuke on turn 5 with this team. Once we get an ult, it's pretty much game over for Trainee, whether it be, again, Shuna or Momiji. And looks like it's going to be Shuna, because we had, like, 4 orbs for her right there. So 27k. Yeah, we've got an ult. How many points do we have right here? 162. Yeah, let's go one more turn. So let's ult swap, orb change. These 3 greens are now blues, because everyone is on Ogre's Pride. Another stack of Benimaru. If we wanted to go to turn 8, then we would be able to activate the 100% Pierce power. Not going to be necessary. We'll just use the ult rush and the extra blue orb damage. Now we're at 250 points. We can use 3 80-point skills, which is going to be the 2 Momiji and Shuna's buff, and we're going to absolutely annihilate, since we have an EX ult now, for Shuna, and it's going to do stupid amounts of damage compared to the HP levels of this stage. So 1, 2, 3, don't need to use anything else. I guess we can get another stack of Benimaru just for funsy onesies, and then goodbye. We don't need to send anything else. 1.1 million. Cool. Get out of here. That was easy. That was before turn 5, actually. I was right. So Ogre's Pride, extra damage against Earth characters, can easily get the job done if you have it, or some semblance of it. Like, obviously, we didn't use Soe's buff. We didn't use Momiji's buff. Like, we are only banking on the 2 backline units to actually do damage, so the frontline units could be orb changers for all I care. Another team that gives extra damage against Earth enemies is the Tempest Elite team. Certainly not my most favorite team, but if you need someone to kill EX2, they can do it. So Trainee will give us the fire follow-up orbs. Gobta will be our turn 1 converter and our single ult swapper. Shuna will be our full hand converter, except for the hero orbs. We brought the hero for the rewind. Her crit skill is going to be sealed. I'm not really banking on it. I just brought her for the rewind because it'd be funny. And then we've got Benimaru and Rimuru in the back with the orb change physical buff, and then Rimuru's burn and his personal buffs. This is also be a pretty easy fight. So turn 1, Gobta orb change. It's got the gauge increase on it, so that's good. And this means that we'll get a double stack of Trainee turn 2, which will actually mean an EX ult for Rimuru turn 2, technically. We just wouldn't be able to use it till turn 3. But this is going to be very, very good for us because it's easy damage and it's very little RNG as far as who gets what orbs and having to sit here for multiple turns. So, I'm actually fairly confident. Let's just use the rewind. And then we'll use the... No, I think we still use the rewind first. No, okay, we don't. Never mind. Okay, so orb change, boom. Full hand of blues, that's good. Now we'll double use trainee, give Reamer the EX alt buff, so there's 1 bar, and the fire follow-up orbs. And there's 2 bars. So he's ready to go. Next turn. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, make back a lot of those points. We have the skill point charm on trainee, because she only gives like 70% increase, unlike the new protectors that give like 300%. There's follow-ups, and they're doing quite a few chunks of damage. And now Rimuru can go away. Like, he's ready to go. We're not going to use the Shuna buff. We're not going to use the hero crit buff. Not a big deal. We'll put a stack of burn on just for fun. And then we'll send him away for the hero. We will rewind. And then we can bring Shuna in to full convert this hand. And now we're ready to go. And now Benimaru is going to get an ult. Boom. And then because of the rewind, we're going to make back all of our protection gauge, essentially. And we can give himself an EX alt, so even if Rimuru, for some reason, was not able to kill on turn 4, which he does, we would have Benimaru as a follow-up attack, because now we're under half HP for trainee, and we haven't done an ult yet. And in this hand, I mean, we could convert it if we wanted to, but let's just see. These orbs don't quite get him the ult, so we'll just use 1 more trainee, and then we'll just send the Benimarus. And this will leave us ready to go. 150 points for the nuke turn, of which we're only going to use 75 or 90 points of it if we use the other burn attack, which we're not going to get to. So double counter, though, from Gobta. That's kind of funny. And now it's time. So you can come in for Shuna. You're not necessary now. And buff, and then a burn. And now we've got 2 single target EX alts, the fire follow-up orbs, 2 stacks of burn. Rimuru has 100% ult damage and 30% attack or something like that. And he does 595. So all of these other orbs are unnecessary damage because we didn't even get to that point. But this team can clear EX2 right quick and in a hurry. So that's pretty good for an underpowered team, in my opinion. Alright, what do you know? Vengeance team can do it. However, with a caveat, is that the Vengeance team can do EX2, because once you hit Inferno and higher, trainee gets a cleanse. So she wipes herself a Vengeance, and I believe clears your effects as well, so you no longer have the counterattack Vengeance stuff from Velzard. So if you just need to clear EX2 and move on with your day, then the Vengeance team can get it done. So just a bunch of orb changers. I know a lot of people are going to ask, what happens if I don't have Yom? Just bring another green to, or blue to green orb changer. Like, you don't need Yom. You need Raphael, though. That's the whole, shtick of this thing. So if you don't have Yom because you weren't playing during one of their reruns, just bring free-to-play Isis, like the dark one, or some other blue to green orb changer. Like, you don't need his Vengeance to do this. You do need a blue orb changer. So here, it's just a patience. How patient can you be? So now we have Vengeance counterattacks on. She hit us 3 times. We put 3 stacks on. All right, now we put another one on. And we'll bring in Trya to convert everything, and that leaves us with 75 points. So now we can bring Isis in, and we can use the green buff, and then we could use the seal and the guard and more Vengeance, and that's pretty much how the next 3 minutes of this stage is going to go. And she's going to eventually kill herself from hitting us so much, and she doesn't have the cleanse, so that's great. You just have to sit here and let it happen. Still does damage through your guard, unless you're Raphael, who's got extra high defense. And, Shuna's type disadvantage, and she's a free-to-play character. Like, she's going to take some damage here. But here, the full hand of Raphael, that'll work. And then we could bring Yom in, and we can reset him. It doesn't matter, we'll just take Sufia out. So, reset everybody, including the backline, which is what makes her really good. And then we'll put another seal on. More Vengeance. Now we're up to 18 stacks, and it's going to be even higher because she likes to hit us like 5 times in a row. The instant damage does count towards stacks. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're at 23 stacks of Vengeance. The ult is also going to count. So like turn 5 when she does an ult, instant damage, and 4 follow-ups, that's all going to count. So this is the turn where Vengeance actually starts to kick in, is the end of turn 5. So whatever we get here, it's going to start damaging her. Slowly but surely. So we'll reset with Velzard and more stacks. So now we're up to 29 stacks, which is going to be well over 30 after she's done with us. So the ult. Physical resistance that Yom gives on his Vengeance skill means nothing because Trainy's hitting us with magic, so don't worry about it. So there's 1. That hurt. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 36 stacks of Vengeance. Alright. And now she's taking damage. So now we just have to survive, which the ult, it did hit us quite hard, which is unfortunate. So we're just going to take her out. And now we have a full hand of greens. And now they're going to be green buffed. And now we're going to seal her again. And now we're going to get the element resistance. And now we're going to get more points back. So, welcome to Vengeance, I guess. Welcome to glue huffing. I hope it smells good. I hope you bought stock in Elmer's glue. So now we're up to 42 stacks, 182k, and guaranteed, no matter what we do here, with the number of times she hits us, Trainy's dead on turn 8. So even if we didn't actually manually add more stacks of Vengeance here, she would still die. So, there we go. There's an easy win for everybody. If you want to use the Vengeance team, if you want to huff glue, it's solid. It can still get the job done. It's just you can't go any higher than EX2 with it. So, unless you do some really weird things on Inferno. So 1, 2, 3, 51 stacks, and it does 221k. So there we go. Vengeance cleared it. Time to move on with your day, right? Another team that can get EX2 done, but not higher because of the gimmick of removing our buffs, is the Idol team. It's literally invincible, and so for EX2, you don't take damage unless you have a turn where you don't have Rimuru active, which is going to happen because the greens are nerfed heavily, and Isis is only giving 50% versus the minus 80 that the stage has. So there you can run into some turns where you do not have Rimuru active. So if you are scared still, then you can just kind of play around and figure out which turns don't have it online, and then go from there. So here, actually, let me hold on real fast. Okay, yeah, there was another clip in here that I had to fast forward through. So turn 1, we just sent the 4 blue orbs. We didn't use the Isis buff on this run. We held it for this turn. And now we're going to use the live mode from Mirai, the green buff, and then we'll bring Tsubasa in. Everyone is idols now, so everyone is now invincible. 6 hand of green. We're going to get 12% magic from Rimuru. We're going to get 12% attack from the live mode green orbs. And Shuna will be our single target DPS character because she's fire. And we get some 4 oranges, which we're not going to convert, but we also don't have Rimuru. So look at that. I was just talking about that. Let's just send the Shuna orbs, get her ult quickly. I nuke early with her, and I actually end up not killing. So you can see that Tsubasa took some damage there, because we're not invincible. Kind of unfortunate. Not going to have that problem moving forward, realistically. So here, we have the green buff active for 1 more turn, so that's fine. We'll use Rimuru, make everyone invincible. We'll use the alt swap. That's a full hand of greens right there, and then we'll send this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we don't get a lot of points back, unfortunately. Like, this is not Vengeance Velzard, where we get a 300% increase. We get a 50, which is actually a minus 30. So, it's a bit rough trying to use the idols in this stage. You can bring Veldora instead from Exalted Champions and make back a little bit more, if you want to. You just lose the dedicated blue converter, and then Veldora would only change his own orbs, which you can still play around with. But his buff only lasts for 2 turns, and it's 25 points. It costs more than what Isis does. And with Rimuru only resetting the front line passively, most of the time Isis or Veldora is going to be in the back, and it's just going to get more and more expensive. But here's another turn where we're not going to have access to Rimuru on this hit, or the next hit. Kind of unfortunate, but we'll be invincible for this ult. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Really hated Tsubasa there, but we're going to have another ult incoming, and there's no way to protect us. So I decide to nuke here with the synergy buff, thinking that, Shuna would do enough to kill. Yeah, didn't really work out. 57k, and then Shuna does 165. Not enough, unfortunately. So we're going to have to go another turn. We almost kill her. If we had a third ult, we probably would have, but she still is on her vendetta against Tsubasa. So now we're just going to have to stop that. And we don't have any points to do anything, so we're just going to get the magic stack and send this 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we crit there. So we got it done. It's a collab team, so I mean, if you don't have the idols, obviously you can't use it. And again, this does not work past EX2 because Inferno 1 and higher cleanses off your invincibility mechanic, so you're going to take full damage at any point. But if you need to clear EX2 and you have the idols, then they can get the job done. And the final team of the video of the series, at least as I've recorded so far, is the Determination to Prosper team, which is pretty much just Festive Memories, but with a different coat of paint. Maribel operates almost the same as what Albus does. She's actually a bit more, consistent in defense than Albus, because once the barriers run out for Albus, like, you don't have any defense at all. At least with Maribel, you're guaranteed super guard for the entire turn. It just doesn't protect you against ults, which can be a problem in this fight. But we're going to have super guard on everybody, which is going to cut down the damage that we're going to take from normal orbs a bit. However, the instant damage skill that Trainee has does bypass guard, and the ults bypass guards as well. So we're going to take full damage from those. So we brought Fire Shuna. She's free to play. She'll participate in the orb change from Lumi, and also she can turn 1 orb change, and for here, turn 2. So we got some good use out of her. If you don't have that Fire Shuna, just bring Water Rimuru or someone, just another green to blue converter that I always use. But here, I mean, we're super guarding, so we're not going to take any damage from these normal orbs, or very little damage, I should say. So, yeah, 50 damage. I'm so scared. But now, we'll do the extra HP plus the Enamor effect, and then we'll do the full orb change with Lumi. We'll super guard again, we'll put the control stacks on, which only really helps Lumi, because she's the fire character. If we brought Rieger up here, he would be fire as well, and technically Shuna, but oh well, not truly worried about them. And AoE, guard, alright, now she has the Pierce, so even though we have super guard, we're going to take a bit more damage than that. And also, because the super guard is in effect, an ability that we put on ourselves, this will also not work in EX2. I don't believe so. Well, no, actually, it might. I don't know. Well, I'll have to check that. I actually haven't tried Inferno 1 or higher yet with Determination to Prosper. You might be able to do it, you might not be able to do it. I don't know. All I know is it's going to take a while, because this takes a while. And you're going to need to heal, because she does quite a bit of damage with her ults and instant damage, and there's nothing you can do to stop that unless you bring, like, Earth Trainee, and you could heal and do the ult resistance buff as well. So, oh, no, sorry. The Resurrection ability from Lumi, you cannot use in Inferno. You can do Super Guard, but you can't do the Resurrect, which kinda is the point of this team, is keeping you alive. And so if you negate that, it's quite difficult to use. But in that case, you could then just bring Skill Fused Earth Trainee, and you could heal at least a little bit, and then cut the ult damage down. And the Pierce Power, actually, technically, because her debuff also affects Trainee as well. Yeah, you could do that. If you don't want to bring Prosper Rimuru, because, I mean, what's he really doing for you? He's a single target Earth DPS. Sure. Alright, we'll send this. 219, Rimuru, 100k. He's not getting the weakness strike stacks from the control effect, only Lumi is, and it's not actually enough to kill on turn 6, so we're going to have to go 1 extra turn to do it, and it's not a big deal. If you want to wait to turn 8 to get, the full power buff, you can, like we do here, so you can get Rimuru's full abilities, you can get the magic attack, the crit, the ult down, the ult damage up, and all that jazz. Like, you can. He doesn't really do that much damage, shockingly. What, 497? Yeah, at 8 turns. It's like, it's good damage. It's enough to kill EX2 right there, but it's not really super great damage. But that's the final team I have for the part 3 video. Again, if these teams don't work for you, please check out the other 2 that I've already put out over the past couple of days. Maybe some of those will be better suited for you as an individual player. And if you have any other teams that you found worked that are not whatever I have shown over the past couple days, please put it down in the comments so other people can see it and maybe use that as a base to take on EX2. But that's it for me, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.